It's your boy Moolah. So we got that fire back with another one. See what Skip and Shannnon got to say after the game 4L the Lakers took to the Suns last night.
Welcome to Undisputed. We are live from LA. I'm Jenny Taps here with Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharp. Good morning. Happy Memorial
Don't
Day.
hold
Great
your
to
head,
see you guys.
Oh, Skip back.
No, it was not close.
Skip back.
I guess New Balance got next.
Ooh,
I guess LA
Skip
is
back in the game, baby.
Oh, how quickly the tables
Has turned.
I have no idea how my Clippers won those 2 games at Dallas, but I do know how your Lakers lost to the Suns at home yesterday, and we're about to talk about that, aren't we?
Man,
Thank you, Kawhi Leonard.
I knew something was up when you told me you could take all the props you want on
You
me.
can have them all, and you got none.
I got none.
No
I feel
props.
like we jinxed it a little bit, Shannon. We jinxed it. We talked about the props, and yes, Skip, you said it. The
No
tables
props.
have turned. We have so much to discuss today. We're also going to be honoring Memorial Day all show long. We're going to hear from troops from around the world.
No
We're going to talk about the
props.
holiday, what it means to us as well, guys. But yes, should we begin by discussing what we saw over the weekend? Because the Suns, yes, the Suns beat the Lakers last night, evening the series at 2 games apiece and taking back home
My
court
nuts.
advantage. But the biggest concern for LA is Anthony Davis, who was already dealing with
My
a
nuts.
sprained left knee. 48 seconds left in the first half. AD missed a
Oh
layup.
man,
He
I don't
landed
know what I'm doing
awkwardly,
about my
grabbing
nuts.
at the inside of his left leg. He was ruled out for the rest of the game with a
Nuts, not
strained
my leg.
groin here. So Shannon, scale 1 to 10, how much trouble are the Lakers in right now?
Oh, I'm going to say it's a 5.
A
You know,
heap.
Skip, momentum is like weather, and it can change rather quickly. We've all been somewhere. If you lived in the Southeast, it's a nice day and a thunderstorm will pop up.
Oh, yeah.
If you live somewhere where there's altitude, you'll be a nice day, and all of a sudden a snowstorm pops up.
Oh, yeah.
And considering, how prepared you are for those, they can be very, very bad for you. This could be very bad for the Lakers because the thing is with Anthony Davis, and maybe Skip, the groin was bothering him from the beginning because he wasn't as aggressive in the 20 minutes, first half 20 minutes as he was in games 3 and games 4. So you kind of noticed something was going on. Now, I felt the knee was bothering, and I just think the thing was in game 3, he had so much adrenaline going. It was going really well for him, and he just played through it. But you can tell when he came down on that knee, Skip, the end of the first half, it buckled pretty good. And I was really surprised
I was too.
that he actually stayed into the ball game.
Well, I thought it was the knee again.
Right. But when he went up and missed the layup, and I was like, uh-oh, here we go again. Skip, the Lakers, and I think
It's
too many
nuts,
times
man.
we see teams,
No, it's knee.
they're at home,
It's nuts.
and they're relying on the crowd to get them going. And we see this, be it basketball, I don't know how much home field it plays in baseball, but you see that in hockey. You see that in football, Skip. The crowd going to get us going. Well, you need to get yourself going. And I don't think the Lakers came
Girl,
out with the
you need
energy
to
that
get
I thought they needed to
yourself
come out
going,
with
partner.
because this was a hungry ball club. They knew, and for the mere fact that Chris Paul says, nah, because the coach wanted to hold him out. And he said, nah, coach, give me a chance. And if I look like trash, take me out, but at least
Take
give me an
me
opportunity
out
to go.
if I look
Chris Paul
like
know he didn't want to
trash.
go down
Take me
3-1.
out
And let
if I
me,
look
if
like
this is going to be our
trash.
last stand, I want it to be with me in the ball game.
Yep.
But I just thought the Lakers didn't play with the energy and the aggressiveness that they needed. AD had, like I said, 6 points, 2 from 9, 0 for 3 from 3, 4 rebounds in 20 minutes. Skip,
Take
the
me
Lakers need to
out
come
if
to
I
the
look like
realization.
trash.
Statistics bear it out. They're not a good three-point shooting team. They're one of the few teams that play conventional.
They got
Play with a
defense.
center that does not shoot threes. They play with a 4. They play with a 3 and LeBron. They are a big front line shooting team. They can't play like some of these smaller teams because that's not how they're built. Skip, you can't get up. You can't shoot 43s when you're 24th, 25th in three-point percentage. That doesn't work. You're not going to win very many games. In the month of May, they've had 2 guys make more than 4 threes in a game. 1 in the past 14 games. And you get up 43s?
Yep.
Why? Dame Lillard, Steph Curry, some of these other volume three-point shooters, okay, I get that.
Yep.
But they don't have that on the Lakers. You got to play inside out. You got to play, make them double. And for whatever reason, they just want to come down and jack up
So
threes.
throw it down
They
low.
turn the ball
Then they
over
put the
far too
double
many
on, then
times.
you
Give
kick
the
it
third
out so
quarter.
you get a wide open
7
three.
turnovers, 7 missed threes. And what concerned me all year long, Skip, and I kept telling you this, I said, Skip, they go long periods of time. They go 3, 4, 5, 7 minutes and not score the basketball.
Nope.
I mean, they only gave up 27 points, but when you score 15, now you put yourself in a bind. And that's what happened yesterday. So now where did they go for scoring?
27,
outside
15.
of LeBron? LeBron was trying to pick his spots like, okay,
Damn,
I'm going to have
what?
some
What's
here.
that?
AD, you take it there.
12.
Now with no AD and no guaranteed another 20-point score, because we saw Shooter play really well in game 3 and pull an MIA in game 4. Kuzma, I kept telling you, Skip.
What's up with
It's not that Skip, he's a good player, but he lacks basketball IQ. He comes in the game and immediately what he does, he fouls a 3-point shooter. He doesn't have the nuanced understanding of the intricacies of playing the game of basketball. Yeah, obviously he's talented. He's in the NBA. He was a first-round draft pick. But
you don't know nothing about basketball.
That you would expect a player that wants to evolve and get better.
But don't know nothing about no basketball.
Cow, Kuz. And somehow
the Kuz. Get you some Kuz.
20+ points to go along with LeBron. And LeBron knows now those big shoulders that he talked about so much.
Oh, I got these big shoulders. I got was built for a reason. My shoulders is built this way for a reason to carry this.
In your opening soliloquy, you barely mentioned LeBron James until your final thoughts.
Yes.
So now back to Jenny's question, scale of 1 to 10, how much trouble are your Lakers in?
You said a 5.
I'm going to go low on this. I'm going to go all the way down to 2. You're right in the middle at a 5.
I'm in a 5, yeah.
That's what he said.
I'm going to go little to no trouble because every day I have to sit over here. Every day.
Oh, I say little to none.
And get barraged with best player on the planet and GOAT James, GOAT James, GOAT James. How many times have you said GOAT James on this show?
If I've said it 5, I've said it 5,000.
It might be 55,000 over the 5 years that you've been on air here on Fox Sports 1.
Okay. Keep going.
So given that barrage, that fusillade of GOAT James that I get over here, I got to set this bar way up here because we are talking about the GOAT and the man that you still proclaim best player on the planet.
Right.
Although when I got finished watching the Nets yesterday, I started thinking, man, that KD guy, he looks pretty best player on the planet to me, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Well, did you see the other 2 guys that were playing alongside him? They didn't look too shabby.
But he was clearly the best of those 3 yesterday. We're going to talk about Kyrie in just a minute here.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, given that stature, given that elevation, given that Mount Everest, Mount Olympus that GOAT James is on, according to Shannon Sharp, shouldn't he just take over Game 5 by himself? Shouldn't he just come out and say, okay, that's
everybody
enough.
Get out the
I
way. Get
this.
on his Jason Tatum
mode.
mode.
These shoulders were built this wide for this reason,
built.
for
I
this
got
night, this
shoulders
game, this time.
So in other words, you're saying go Game 6 Celtics in the Garden.
Whichever one of those you want to go. You can go Game 7 against my Spurs in 2013. That was pretty special.
Yes.
But there have been 3 or 4 of those in his career where you said, oh, that was a game.
Right.
That was a goatish game, actually.
Games 5 and 6 against Golden State and the 3-1 comeback.
You could do those. But this is huge for this year's Lakers because
thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
You have to say it's starting to feel a little do or die-ish, right?
Yeah.
Because of AD's status that we don't really know. They did, according to Woj, say after the game that he's day to day.
They said he wasn't playing
play Tuesday night.
No, I would not even attempt to play him.
They have the shorter turnaround than the Clippers. At least Luke has got until Wednesday night, and that's a crucial extra 24 hours.
Correct. We saw it with Chris Paul.
You saw it with Chris Paul.
Don't nobody know he was coming, man.
And I'll get to Chris Paul in just a moment, but do we expect AD to play? I have no idea, but I'm going to guess not. I'm going to guess not.
They're going to play him and surprise him like they did CP3.
He's always dinged. It's always some this or that.
Always ding.
It's always different. It's always a
ding
different
dong.
Injury. Could be
always
a shoulder,
ding dong.
Could be an elbow. Could be a knee. Could be an Achilles. Could be a calf. Could be a groin. And now it's the groin. What did we see happen?
So if they blame his groin, because it's probably be his knee. Maybe they don't want anybody to know it's his knee.
Yep, kept him out about 5 weeks. Missed 20-something.
Okay, so could AD come back in 48 hours as opposed to 5 weeks? I doubt it. Could he be gone for the rest of the playoffs? Well, now that's a tall order. Rest of playoffs.
Yeah. I think the
Who
thing
knows?
is, can they win this series without AD? Yes. Can they go any further? I doubt it.
Who
I doubt it.
knows?
Okay. So I believe that
Who
LeBron James
knows?
owes his team. Okay, too much perimeter, too many jacked up threes, 9 of 28, 32% from three.
Mhm.
Not enough attacking the basket.
Correct.
I'm going to say it again. He is still the best passer in basketball, and he is still the greatest driver of the basketball I've ever seen because he looks bigger than ever. He is 6'9". What are we going to give him? We want to go to 270?
I give
260?
260.
Okay,
From
265.
Akron,
Let's split the
Ohio.
middle. So LeBron is 6'9", 265 pounds, and trust me, Jay Crowder can't keep him from the rim. There's
Jay who?
nobody. Mikal Bridges can't keep him from the
J.
rim.
Cole?
I don't think DeAndre Ayton can keep
Trying to
LeBron from
play
the
in
rim
Africa?
because he's a little light in the
Mhm.
pocket, as they say. He's still a little skinny for a 7-foot big man. So LeBron has to go into all-out attack mode from the start. And here's the point. He has to trust himself enough that even if he makes only 59% of his free throws, if he could get there 20 times,
Right.
that could tilt the game
Right.
in the Lakers' favor.
Right. That's
because
still
you're
12,
going to
13
get
points.
you're going to get Crowder and maybe Ayton in foul trouble. He's not threatening anybody with foul trouble at 4 attempts a game,
No.
right?
No.
So that's not good enough. So he made 4 out of 7
Nobody.
yesterday, and one time
Nobody
he went to
bite.
the free throw line and bricked 2 of them.
Right.
But that's okay if you just increase your opportunities.
Correct.
He has
That
not
boy
done that,
out
and
here
it's been
hooping like
shocking
J.
to me.
Cole, I'll tell you.
So now he goes into a game, and the Suns are 4.5-point favorites all of a sudden. So it's flipped wildly back and forth.
Flip.
So the odds makers are saying, we don't think AD's going to play.
No.
So it's all LeBron all the time. Now I'm going to get to
Also,
your
the
point. You
Suns
said
4-point
they're
favorite because no
they're
AD.
traditional in that they don't
Oh,
have a center who
wow.
can shoot threes.
Right.
Well, wait a second. What do I see on my box score here? Wait, who's this guy, Mark Gasol?
No, I'm saying they start. Gasol can shoot,
okay.
but they start Drummond, then they go AD and LeBron. So that's a big team.
Guess who played more than Big Penguin yesterday?
Gasol.
Mark Gasol. Guess who played 0 minutes in the fourth quarter? Big Penguin. Or as I call him, Kareem Abdul-Drummond.
Big
So they just
Penguin,
said
no
And by
minutes
the way,
in the
Gasol
fourth.
made 3 out of 5 threes. That'll work.
Skip, he gives you that, but the problem is that they put him in the high pick and roll, and because he's so slow-footed, guess what happens? Either Booker or Chris Paul is more foot from the basket, or DeAndre Ayton is dunking the ball on somebody's head.
Okay. So you can go smaller if you feel like it.
Right.
The way the Clippers went
did.
small, they did. They just said, nope, we don't care. You can put big Marjanovic of Boban in there. You can put him in, and we're still going to try to stay small for a while,
Because
right?
you know why, Skip? He said because Ty Lue said, well, they don't post Porzingis.
Yeah.
Porzingis is 7'3" point guard. He wants to play on the perimeter.
He does.
So why are we playing Zubats? So they put him in the pick and roll. Well, if they're not going to post Drummond, or if you're not going to post Mark Gasol, what's the advantages of playing him? But you got to play a big because Ayton is 7 foot tall, 270.
So what's y'all reason for not playing my trash? Y'all play them late.
17 rebounds.
Just like game 1. Remember game 1, he was 21 and 16. Yesterday, he was what? 17? What? No, he was 14 and 17.
Mm-hmm. Yep, 14 and 17. So LeBron in game 1, that's the shameful game. That's the one that puts you behind the 8 ball to me. Because in the fourth quarter, LeBron 4 from 3 and 1 of 4 from the free throw line.
Mm-hmm.
That won't work. And slowly but surely, even without much of Chris Paul in game 1, they managed to hold off the Lakers. So yesterday, LeBron played pretty well in the fourth quarter until a flashpoint that occurred fairly late in the game. It was 1:23 left, and they still had a chance.
Mm-hmm.
And if we could see this play, Schroeder drives,
Schroeder.
and LeBron thought he got fouled and didn't get a
He
call.
quit.
And there's a little push by LeBron.
His head go
and
down.
He pouts the
He don't
referee.
even
He
come
wants the
back
referee,
down
and
the
neither
court.
he nor Schroeder get back, and the ball swings to guess who? Jay Crowder.
They go.
And of
Schroeder
all
came
the players
down.
who-
LeBron
he's
stayed
afraid
back.
of LeBron James. LeBron's clowning him in game 3, right? That we talked about last Friday. And what happened? The ball swings to Crowder, and he makes the dagger shot.
Well, it was a lot of skill. We saw a lot of that. We saw LeBron get a dunk yesterday, and everybody celebrating. And Mikal Bridges is in the corner, shoots a three. We saw Kuzma lay the ball up, and he sprawled out there like he won the Academy Award, and they laid the ball up on the other end.
Yep.
Let us celebrate that. Let the people in the arena, let the people at home celebrate you. Get your butt back in on defense, Skip, because they're telling you, make or miss, let's push it. They know you like to play slow. You're not an up-tempo team. LeBron loves to control the pace. So every chance any team gets against the Lakers, what do? They push it. Because they know they're a big team. They are a slow team. So you're going to have to make or miss. You're going to have to get back, Lakers. But these turnovers, Skip, they had 15 turnovers yesterday. Caruso and LeBron had 10 of the 15.
They did.
7 of them came in the third quarter. When you go 0 for 7 from the three-point line and 7 turnovers, you're going to lose more times than not. Because Chris Paul was in complete control yesterday. He had 9 assists with 0 turnovers.
Yep. By the way, LeBron had 6 to Caruso's 4.
Right.
Okay. So that brings us to Chris Paul. I was a little surprised that he brought up in the on-the-floor post-game TV interview that his coach, Monty Williams, wanted to sit him for the game. He wanted it known immediately, publicly.
I told him, what did he tell him?
And he said no to his coach. Well, how do you get away with that? Was he trying to say, I have the final say here? It was a little surprising that he brought it up because I have nothing but the utmost respect for the coach of the year, Monty Williams.
Skip, remember I said I thought they should not play Chris Paul on Thursday and save him for Sunday. That's what I was thinking.
All right, well, apparently his coach was going to save him for Tuesday.
Right, he was like, he was doing it the opposite.
Okay.
I don't know why Chris brought that up either because it makes the coach wanted to bench me, but I was like, nah, I'm playing.
And it put Monty in a tough spot.
Yeah, it does.
When he had to answer, and he said, I didn't want to play him, but he said, give me a shot and see if I can go.
Right.
And he looked okay from the start, but not great until the second half.
Right.
What was the halftime? They were up 4 at halftime.
4.
And then here he came in the second half. Chris Paul, playing with quote-unquote one arm, suddenly looked like Chris Paul again.
Oh, yeah.
He looked
I'm
like
back.
that guy. And he was deadly from mid-range. And it's a weird, elbow free throw line shot. And he's lethal with it. And did he not look like himself? So he proved his coach very, very wrong in the second half. And I want to say, on epic games for Chris Paul, and he's had a lot of struggles in the postseason. He still has no ring, obviously. That was as good as it got. In the second half, at LeBron James, and obviously they've never played each other in a playoff series, he rose and shone, and he was, to me, the best player on the floor in the second half with, quote-unquote, one arm that looked like it was pretty much back.
Well, the thing is, Skip, obviously, Chris Paul is a great mid-range shooter, and he's okay from 3, but yesterday he was 0 for 3, so you might need to push him out and try to keep him away from that perimeter. You can't take chances because, sometimes, guys be lulling you to sleep, and you be reading the injury report like, man, he looked terrible Thursday night. And maybe they played into that, Skip. They're like, well, man, Chris can't.
They didn't expect him to play.
He was getting to that spot about 8 to 10 feet from the basket, and he was elevating, put a couple in over Drummond, got past Schroeder. So he was healthy. Let's see how he feels after 1 day in between as opposed to 2 days in between. But, Skip, when you're shooting 27% from the 3, you might need to try a new avenue. 27% is not good.
27,
I don't care
LA.
if you're shooting 73s in a series or you only shooting 10. If you shoot that sorry of a percentage, that's not good. And considering the amount of threes that you're jacking up, bro, you're gonna have to. LeBron is gonna have to give you a Herculean effort.
Change your game. Change your game.
The problem is that when he goes out, Skip, remember that 11-point lead, and then he goes out, and it's gone. He was plus. He played almost 38 minutes, and he was plus.
Yep.
And Caruso were the only ones. Caruso and Gasol was the only one that was plus. Everybody else -8, -9, -15, -8, -13.
Yep.
So that's been the problem on LeBron teams. When he leaves the court, can they maintain the lead if they have the lead, or can they keep it close if they're behind? And for whatever reason, they haven't been able to do that on a consistent basis. They're going to have to play the supporting cast. I'm not concerned about LeBron. But the supporting cast is going to have to play one of their better games, minus their second best player in AD.
Okay. I believe that your team should win Game 5 and will win Game 5. But to do so, LeBron's going to have to be 2015 LeBron. He's going to have to be that guy in games 1, 2, and 3 against Golden State when he was completely short-handed.
Well, Skip, you do realize he took like 34, 35, 36 shots.
It's the best I've ever seen him play, and he's going to have to approximate that.
He's still at 40
and I
something.
know it's going to be crazy at
Gotta
Phoenix
do it all.
tomorrow night.
Gotta do it all,
still, he
Give me
still
the
played
damn ball and get the
almost
hell out of my
40
way.
more playoff games than the entire Phoenix roster.
Right.
So Chris has played a lot of playoff
He
games,
gonna-
but nothing like LeBron has played.
Mess
So,
around and
he's
ball
been in a
Chris
few, but
Paul
it's
up into a
LeBron.
little basketball.
It just
Boom, I'ma
dwarfs
dunk
them
that.
in playoff
Boy, what you doing on
experience
this
and
court?
stature.
Never played
So
during my
now
whole
he's
career.
got to rise and he's got to shine. He's got to be that guy you keep telling me he is.
So if you're Frank Vogel, how do you start with no AD? Do you start Gasol and not play Drummond? Because you got to go with a big to deal with a.
Gotta put Gasol in. Bring Drummond off the bench.
Or you might have 20 points and 30 rebounds. So you got to have a big to battle him.
Okay.
But or do you start Gasol?
Speaking of playoff experience, I would start Gasol.
Thank you.
It just feels better. It looks better.
Sound
Drummond hasn't
better.
been playing much in fourth quarters anyway. Just flip it around and go first quarter and see if you can establish a lead that you can hang on to.
Well, Gasol's going to have to make the three because unless he makes the three, Ayton is not going to come from under the basket. Well, so you got to have to make him pay so LeBron can have a lane. Because if you don't make him pay, he's going to be there to challenge LeBron.
Oh yeah, we wait.
I don't think
that's
Gasol is
right.
half of what he used to be.
Is playing defense. They tripping, y'all. See, but hey, y'all heard what's going on. Game 5, I got the Suns, y'all. Phoenix back, baby. The rising sun. Somebody called Charles Barkley and say Phoenix has risen. The Phoenix has risen. It's your boy Moolah this week at that 5, and I'll be back with another one. I'm out of here.